This episode is an ESL listening practice for intermediate learners. You will hear a natural conversation with clear pronunciation and everyday English. No tests, no pressure, just listening. Let's start.
Hello, and welcome to another session of ESL listening practice.
Hello, everyone.
I am absolutely thrilled you've decided to plug in, tune out the noise of the world, and focus on your English skills with us today. Whether you're commuting to work, washing the dishes, or just sitting in your favorite chair with a cup of coffee, we're really glad you're here.
It's great to be here. And for our listeners, just a quick reminder of what we do.
Yeah.
We're not just reading from a textbook. We're having a real natural conversation about a pretty complex topic.
Right.
And the goal is to help you, the intermediate learner, kind of bridge that gap between understanding the words and really grasping the nuance.
Exactly.
We want you to feel comfortable with the rhythm and flow of native English.
Yes, exactly. We want to push you a little bit. We might use some vocabulary that's new to you or explore some ideas that are, a bit abstract.
Sure.
But don't worry, we're going to be your guides. We'll stop and unpack all the tricky parts. And today, oh boy, today we have a topic that I think is going to hit close to home for almost everyone listening.
I suspect you're right. This isn't a topic about, ancient history or distant geography.
Yeah.
This is about something that is probably sitting within arm's reach of you right now.
Right now.
It might even be the device you're using to listen to us.
We are talking about social media, the giants. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X.
All of them.
These platforms have completely taken over the world in the last 15 years. It's honestly wild to think about how much life has changed because of them.
It is unavoidable, isn't it? It's woven into the fabric of our daily lives.
Woven is a good word.
Yeah, and I think it's the right word there. You can't just pull it out without unraveling a lot of other things. It affects how we work, how we date, how we get our news.
How we see ourselves.
Exactly.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's a tool for everything. I use it to chat with my friends who live back in my hometown.
Right.
I use it to see what's happening in the news, although that can be a bit stressful sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I use it to learn how to cook weird pasta dishes. And let's be honest, I use it to just zone out when my brain is tired.
Right, and that's the dual nature of these platforms.
The two sides of it.
Exactly. On one hand, you have this miracle of connection. You can talk to someone in Tokyo and Toronto at the same time.
It's incredible.
You can learn English from a teacher in London while sitting in Brazil. That is incredible. But on the other hand, there are hidden risks. There's a shadow side to all this bright, shiny connectivity.
And that brings us to the core question of our session today. It's a debate that's raging in psychology departments and tech companies all over the world.
It really is.
Is social media a tool for genuine connection, something that enhances our lives, or is it becoming a widespread addiction that's rewiring our brains?
That is a heavy question. And to be honest, the answer isn't a simple yes or no.
No, it's not black and white.
Not at all. To really understand what's happening to us, we have to look under the hood.
Yeah.
We need to understand the mechanics of the technology and the biology of our own brains.
Under the hood. I love that idiom. It comes from cars, right? You pop the hood to see the engine.
That's the one.
So today, we're going to look at the engine of social media. We're going to talk about a specific chemical called dopamine. We're going to look at why we scroll for hours when we only meant to look for 1 minute.
We're also going to explore the psychology of social comparison, which is a fancy way of saying jealousy or, feeling like you aren't good enough.
Right.
And finally, we aren't just going to leave you feeling depressed about your phone habits. We will talk about solutions. We'll discuss what a digital detox actually looks like.
Okay, good. And before we jump into the deep end, I want to flag a few words for you, the listener. You'll hear dopamine, which we'll explain in detail.
Yep.
You'll hear infinite scrolling, which sounds like a sci-fi movie concept, but is actually very real. And you'll hear about the highlight reel.
Context is everything. So let's start with the biology. I think this is the most important piece of the puzzle. If you don't understand the biology, you can't understand the behavior.
Let's do it. So whenever I read about social media addiction, this word keeps coming up. Dopamine.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. People joke about needing a dopamine hit, but what actually is it? Is it just the happy chemical?
That's the common misunderstanding. People think dopamine equals pleasure.
Right.
They think I eat a cookie, I get dopamine, I feel happy. And while that's partly true. It's not the whole story.
Okay.
Biologically, dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger in the brain that is more about seeking than enjoying.
Wait, that's a really important distinction. Say that again.
It's more about seeking than enjoying.
So you're saying it's not about the happiness you feel after you get the thing. It's about the drive to get the thing.
Precisely. Think of dopamine as the fuel for your motivation. It's the chemical of anticipation.
Anticipation.
Okay. It's the feeling of, I want that. It's what helped our ancestors survive. It pushed them to hunt for food, to find water, to find a mate.
Sure.
Without dopamine, we would just sit on a rock and starve because we wouldn't have the motivation to get up.
Okay, so dopamine is basically our survival drive. It tells us, hey, go do that thing. It's good for you. So how does my phone hijack that?
Right.
Because scrolling through TikTok videos of dancing cats doesn't seem crucial for my survival.
It doesn't, does it? But your ancient brain doesn't know that. You see, social media platforms are engineered, and I mean literally designed by engineers and psychologists, to trigger this ancient reward system.
When you say engineered, it sounds a bit manipulative.
It is a bit.
Like they're doing it on purpose.
Well, let's look at the evidence. What happens when your phone makes that specific ding sound?
Oh.
Or when it vibrates in your pocket?
Immediately, my heart jumps a little bit. I instantly want to know, who is it? What happened? Is it good news? Is it bad news?
Exactly. That buzz is a cue. It creates a spike in dopamine because your brain is anticipating a reward. It's thinking, maybe this is important socially. Maybe someone likes me. Maybe I have a new opportunity. That anticipation is actually more powerful than the reward itself.
Wow. So the ding is the trigger, and then I check the phone.
And let's say you check it, and you see a red notification badge with the number 1 on the Instagram icon.
Oh, the red dot. It's impossible to ignore.
The color red was chosen for a reason. In nature, red means pay attention.
Right, like a stop sign.
Exactly. It means danger, or ripe fruit, or blood. It triggers urgency. So you see the red dot, your dopamine spikes again, and you tap the app.
And then I see that someone liked my photo, or someone commented on my post saying, great job.
And boom, validation.
Yeah.
You feel seen. You feel important. That is the reward.
Okay.
Your brain says, that was good. We are socially safe. Let's do that again.
It's the reward cycle. Trigger, action, reward.
Yes. But here's where it gets really devious and really interesting for our listeners. If every time you checked your phone, you got a boring message or no message at all, you would eventually stop checking.
Right.
You'd get bored.
Right. If I open the fridge and it's empty, I don't keep opening it every 5 seconds. Well, actually, sometimes I do, but that's a different problem.
But generally, consistency is boring.
Okay.
What makes social media so sticky is something called intermittent reinforcement. This is a term from behavioral psychology.
Intermittent reinforcement. Okay, let's break that down. Intermittent means not constant.
Yes.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Exactly. It means the reward is unpredictable. Think about a slot machine in a casino.
Okay.
You put a coin in, you pull the handle. Most of the time, you lose. Nothing happens.
Right.
But sometimes, ding, 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 you win.
And because you don't know when you're gonna win, you keep pulling the handle. Maybe the next one. Maybe the next one.
That is exactly how the pull to refresh feature works on your phone.
Oh, wow.
You know when you drag your thumb down the screen to load new posts?
Yes, and there's that little spinning wheel for a second.
That is the slot machine handle. You're pulling the handle to see what the algorithm has for you.
I've never thought of it that way.
Will it be a funny video? Will it be a boring ad? Will it be a shocking news story? You don't know. And that uncertainty releases way more dopamine than a guaranteed reward.
That is mind-blowing. So we are basically carrying around a pocket-sized slot machine.
Yes.
And instead of money, we're paying with our time and attention.
That is the perfect analogy. And just like a gambler in a casino, it's very hard to walk away when the machine is hot.
This explains so much. It explains why I pick up my phone without even thinking. I call it the zombie check.
The zombie check, I like that.
I'm standing in line at the grocery store, or I'm at a red light in traffic, and suddenly the phone is in my hand. I didn't consciously decide I would like to check my email now. My hand just moved.
That's the habit loop in action. Your brain is bored for 1 second and says, I don't like boredom, I want to hit. And your hand executes the program before your conscious mind can even vote on it.
It's a bit scary, honestly. It feels like I'm losing my agency. Agency is a good word for our learners. It means control over your own actions.
That's a great word.
It feels like Pez has more agency than I do.
You are not alone in feeling that. And let's be clear, this doesn't make you a weak person. It doesn't mean you have no willpower.
Okay, good.
It means you are up against a supercomputer that knows exactly how your biology works.
Wow.
You are fighting a billion-dollar algorithm with a Stone Age brain. It's not a fair fight.
That makes me feel a little better, but also a little terrified. Okay, so dopamine gets us to pick up the phone, but what keeps us there?
Right.
Because sometimes I pick it up to check one message, and then I look up, and 45 minutes have passed. I've fallen into the trap.
Yes. This is where we need to talk about infinite scrolling.
Let's break that down for the English learners. Infinite comes from infinity.
Yep.
It means no end, never ending.
Right. Think about how we used to consume media before smartphones. Think about reading a physical newspaper.
Okay.
You read the front page, you get to the bottom, what do you have to do?
I have to physically turn the page.
Okay.
Or if I finish the paper, I put it down. It's done.
Exactly. Or think about a TV show in the 1990s. The episode ends, the credits roll, then there's a commercial break, or nothing.
Right.
These are called stopping cues.
Stopping cues, like a stop sign for your brain.
Yes.
It signals that the activity is finished.
It gives your brain a moment of pause, a tiny fraction of a second to ask, do I want to keep doing this? Or should I go to bed? Should I talk to my wife?
But on TikTok or Instagram Reels?
There are no stopping cues.
Yeah.
They've been deliberately removed.
Deliberately.
When you finish a video, the next one starts automatically. Or if you're scrolling a feed, new content loads at the bottom before you even get there. The page never ends.
It's like a bottomless bowl of soup. There's actually a famous psychology experiment about that, isn't there?
Yes. The Wansink study. They gave people bowls of soup that had a hidden tube refilling them from the bottom.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Very.
Yeah.
And people just kept eating and eating because the bowl never got empty. Way more than normal because their eyes never told them you're finished.
That is gross, but it is a perfect metaphor. Social media is the bottomless soup bowl.
It is.
We keep scrolling because there's no visual signal to stop.
And it trains our brains to fear the pause. We become terrified of that split second of boredom. The moment the video ends, we flick to the next one because we crave that constant stream of stimulation.
And what's the cost of that? Because it feels frantic. When I've been scrolling for an hour, I don't feel relaxed.
No.
I feel sort of buzzed in a bad way. My eyes hurt. My brain feels foggy.
That's the paradox. We turn to these apps to relax, right?
Yeah.
You come home from work, you're tired, you say, I just want to zone out. But scrolling is an active process for your brain.
Right.
You're processing hundreds of images, headlines, sounds, and emotions every minute.
It's sensory overload.
Completely.
Right.
It fractures your attention span. If you spend 3 hours a day flipping through 15-second videos, your brain gets very good at processing 15-second chunks of information. But it loses the ability to focus on deep, slow things.
Like reading a book. Or having a long, slow conversation.
Yes.
Or even just sitting on a park bench and watching the birds.
Exactly. Those things feel boring because they aren't hitting that dopamine button every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
We lose our tolerance for slowness, and that's a real loss for the human experience.
It really is. I notice it in myself. If I try to watch a movie now, a 2-hour movie, I get restless. I want to pick up my phone and second screen. I feel the itch.
That itch is the withdrawal from the high-speed stimulation.
Okay, so we have the biology of the hook, dopamine, and the mechanics of the trap, infinite scrolling. But there's another layer to this, a more emotional layer.
Social comparison.
This one hits hard. The outline talks about perception versus reality. Can we unpack that?
This is one of the most damaging aspects of social media, especially for mental health.
Okay.
We have to remember that human beings are social animals.
Yeah.
We evolved to live in small tribes, maybe 50 or 100 people.
Right. In the tribe, you knew everyone. You knew who was the best hunter, who was the best cook. You compared yourself to them to see where you fit in the hierarchy.
Exactly. And that comparison was manageable. Maybe you weren't the best runner, but you were the best storyteller. You had a place.
Sure.
But now you open Instagram and you aren't comparing yourself to the 50 people in your village.
Oh.
You are comparing yourself to the top 1% of the entire human population.
That is such a good point. I'm comparing my cooking not to my neighbor, but to a Michelin star chef in Paris.
Right.
I'm comparing my vacation photos to a professional travel influencer who gets paid to look good on a beach.
And this creates a massive distortion. We're seeing a curated reality.
Curated is a great word for our listeners. Let's explain that.
Sure.
It comes from curator, like someone who works in a museum. They choose only the best pieces of art to put on the wall. They don't show you the broken ones or the ugly ones in the basement.
Exactly. Social media is a museum of people's lives. We see the highlight reel.
The highlight reel. In sports, this is the video of the goals, the slam dunks, the victories.
Yep.
You don't see the missed shots. You don't see the player twisting their ankle.
But when we look at our own lives, we see everything. We see the behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
We know that we woke up late. We know we spilled coffee on our shirt. We know we had a fight with our partner. We feel our own insecurity.
So we are comparing our messy, complicated behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's polished, edited highlight reel.
And that is a recipe for misery. It's an unfair comparison.
It really is.
But our emotional brain doesn't realize that. It just sees the picture and says, they are happy. I am sad. They are successful. I am failing.
I think this is especially dangerous because of how visual it is. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
If I see a picture of my friend at a party looking gorgeous and laughing, my brain instantly assumes their whole life is like that. I assume they're happy 24/7.
We project perfection onto them. We don't see that 5 minutes after the photo was taken, maybe they felt lonely or they went home to an empty apartment.
We only see the peak moment.
Exactly.
And this leads to feelings of inadequacy, feeling not good enough.
Yes. The research shows a direct link between heavy social media use and anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem.
Wow.
Especially for teenagers, but for adults too. It creates a feeling of falling behind. Like everyone else has the instruction manual for life except you.
That's a terrible feeling. And it drives the addiction, doesn't it?
How so?
Because we feel bad, so we look for validation. We post our own highlight to get some likes to prove that we're okay too.
It becomes a performance. We start living our lives for the photo rather than for the experience.
Yes.
You go to a concert, and instead of listening to the music, you're recording it to show everyone else you were there.
If you didn't post it, did it even happen?
That is the tragic question of our times.
Okay, we've been pretty hard on social media for the last 20 minutes.
We have.
We've called it a slot machine, a bottomless bowl, and a happiness-destroying machine. But we have to be fair. We're balanced people here.
We are.
It's not all bad, is it?
No, absolutely not. And it would be dishonest to say it's evil. It's a tool.
Right.
And like any powerful tool like a car or nuclear energy, it can be used for destruction or for incredible good.
Let's talk about the good stuff, the connection aspect.
I mean, think about the isolation people used to feel before the internet.
Okay.
If you were a kid growing up in a small town and you had a weird hobby, maybe you loved obscure 1980s Japanese jazz records.
Sure.
Or you were really into knitting sweaters for penguins.
Yeah.
You might be the only person in your town who liked that. You'd feel like a weirdo.
Totally. You would feel alone.
But now, you go online, you find a Facebook group or a Reddit community, and suddenly there are 50,000 other people who love knitting sweaters for penguins.
You find your tribe.
You find your tribe. That is magical.
It is. It validates your identity. And for language learners, I mean, our listeners are proving this right now.
Absolutely.
You can access native English content from anywhere. You don't have to move to New York or London.
It democratizes information.
Yeah.
It allows for creativity to flourish. And let's not forget the distance factor.
Mm-hmm.
I have family members who live on different continents. My grandmother can see videos of her great-grandchildren walking for the first time.
That's amazing.
That's precious.
Yeah.
That's real emotional connection.
It really is. And during difficult times like the pandemic we all went through, social media was a lifeline.
It was.
It was the only way we could see each other's faces. It kept us sane.
So the problem isn't the technology itself. The problem is the relationship we have with the technology.
It's the dosage.
The dosage, yes.
Water is essential for life, but if you drink 10 gallons of it, you'll drown.
Exactly. It's about how we use it. Are we using it actively to connect and create? Or are we using it passively to scroll and compare and numb ourselves?
That distinction, active versus passive, is key. Active use feels good. Sending a message to a friend feels good.
Yes.
Passive use, just scrolling through the feed like a zombie, usually leaves us feeling empty.
So the million-dollar question is, how do we regain control?
Right.
How do we shift from being passive zombies to active users?
Yeah.
This brings us to the concept of the digital detox.
Digital detox. I love this phrase, but it also sounds a bit intimidating. If I have to go on a juice cleanse or run a marathon, what does a digital detox actually mean in this context?
Well, let's look at the word detox. It comes from detoxification, removing toxins or poisons from the body.
Okay.
In this case, the toxin is the constant, uninterrupted stream of digital noise.
But does it mean I have to delete my Instagram account? Do I have to smash my smartphone with a hammer and go live in a cave?
No, please don't smash your phone. Smartphones are expensive.
Okay.
The digital detox is not about quitting forever. It's about a reset. It's about taking a break to break the cycle of addiction.
So it's about regaining agency, reminding your brain that you can survive without the device.
Precisely. And the research suggests that you don't need to be extreme. You just need to be intentional.
What are some practical ways to do this? Because if I just say, I'll use my phone less, that never works. It's too vague.
You need rules. You need bright lines. One of the best recommendations is no phones during meals.
Oh, that's a tough one. I am definitely guilty of the fork in one hand, phone in the other technique.
Many of us are. But think about what you're missing. You aren't tasting your food.
True.
If you're with people, you aren't really looking at them. By banning the phone from the table, you force yourself to be present.
It is awkward at first, isn't it? If there's a lull in the conversation, the impulse to grab the phone is so strong.
That awkwardness is good. That's your brain relearning how to deal with silence.
Okay.
Another great rule is no screens in the bedroom.
This one changed my life, actually. I used to scroll in bed until I fell asleep. And I slept terribly.
Right.
Now I leave my phone charging in the kitchen. I bought an old school alarm clock.
That is the gold standard. The blue light from the screen interferes with melatonin, the sleep hormone.
I've heard that.
And the content keeps your brain alert. By physically removing the phone from the room, you remove the temptation. You create a sanctuary for sleep.
What about a screen-free Sunday? Or a block of time?
That's a more advanced move, but highly recommended. Pick one day a week, or even just an afternoon where the phone is off. Completely off.
And what happens when you do that? What can our listeners expect if they try this?
Honestly, at first they can expect to feel bad.
Really? Not good.
No. We have to be honest. You will feel withdrawal. You'll reach for your pocket and panic because it's not there.
Okay.
You'll feel phantom vibration syndrome, where your leg feels like the phone is buzzing, even though it isn't there.
I did that.
You'll feel bored. You feel anxious.
That sounds horrible. Why would I do that?
Because if you push through that initial discomfort, on the other side is freedom.
Oh.
Your attention span starts to come back. You start to notice things around you. The colors of the trees look brighter. Your conversations go deeper because you aren't distracted.
You stop feeling that low-level background anxiety.
Exactly. You start to experience JOMO instead of FOMO.
Okay, we need to define those acronyms for the learners.
FOMO.
FOMO, fear of missing out. That panic that everyone else is having fun without you.
Right. And JOMO.
JOMO. Joy of missing out. The relief of not caring what everyone else is doing. Being perfectly content right where you are.
That sounds like a beautiful place to be.
It is. And it's achievable. It just requires intention.
Intention. Doing things on purpose.
Yes. The goal isn't to be a monk. The goal is that when you pick up your phone, you know why.
Yeah.
You say, I'm going to check Instagram for 10 minutes to see my friend's baby photos. You do it, and then you stop.
You're the driver, not the passenger.
I found a really useful checklist in my notes for this session. 3 questions to ask yourself before unlocking the phone.
Ooh, let's hear them.
Yeah, I'm going to stick these on a Post-it note on my phone case. Question 1. Why am I opening this app right now?
Am I bored? Am I anxious? Am I lonely? Or do I actually have a task to do?
Question 2. Do I feel better or worse after using it?
That's the gut check. If you feel drained, jealous, or annoyed after scrolling, listen to that feeling. It's data.
And question 3. Am I choosing to scroll or doing it automatically?
Waking up from the zombie mode.
Yeah. This has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I've been to therapy for my digital life.
It is a lot to process, but it's one of the most important conversations we can have in the modern world.
I agree.
Our attention is our most valuable resource. It's the only thing we truly own. We shouldn't give it away so cheaply.
Our attention is our most valuable resource. I love that. So let's do a quick recap for our listeners just to cement the vocabulary and the concepts.
Sure. We started with biology. We learned that dopamine is the chemical of seeking and anticipation, not just pleasure.
Right. It drives the addiction loop.
Yes.
We talked about mechanics. Infinite scrolling and intermittent reinforcement, the slot machine effect, are designed to remove stopping cues and keep us hooked.
We discussed psychology, the highlight reel versus behind the scenes, how comparing our real lives to others' curated lives leads to feelings of inadequacy.
And we acknowledge the benefits. Connection, learning, and community are real and valuable.
Yes. And finally, the solution, the digital detox. taking intentional breaks to reclaim our agency and reset our brains.
It is not about quitting, it is about balance.
Balance, not perfection.
So, here is our challenge to you, the listener. Today, just notice. Just observe yourself. When do you reach for the phone? How do you feel when you do it?
Be a scientist of your own behavior. Don't judge yourself. Just watch.
And maybe,
Just maybe, try leaving the phone in the other room while you eat dinner tonight.
see if the food tastes better.
I bet it will.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep conversation on ESL listening practice.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you learned some new words like curated, intermittent, and agency. But more importantly, we hope you learned something about yourself.
Keep listening, keep learning, and remember to look up from the screen once in a while.
Have a wonderful, balanced day. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.